Okay, so the big news is that someone anonymously uploaded the original Toontown files, and we're talking about stuff that has assets from 2002, 2003. This is a really big deal because not only does it have older assets, but more than that, it has uncompressed assets. The Toontown that we play is not the original game. All the assets were created in high quality, but they had to be compressed just to be able to run on Windows XP. So we're not seeing what the artists originally created. The anonymous user posted on Reddit and they included a GitHub link, which I'll include down below. I'm really thankful we have this because I downloaded all the files and I've been looking through them and I'm seeing stuff like I've never seen before. But a lot of the textures I've seen are really high quality. This means we could have an HD version of Toontown, like fully HD. I don't mean just widescreen, I mean like high quality textures, high quality assets. This is a really big deal. There are thousands of files. I've been going through them for the past like several hours. These are things that maybe used to be in the game, maybe they were in alpha or beta and they got axed. So I have Photoshop open and I'm gonna show you the stuff that looks amazing in high quality. Hey Finch, I hear you stream sometimes. Yes, on Wednesdays and Fridays at 3:30 p.m. and Saturdays at 10 a.m. Yeah, I'll try to make it. Great. You gonna be there? So the first thing I have are old gag designs. This is really rad. So as some of you may know, there used to be this cupcake. I believe this might have been the original design for the first throw gag that you got. I think a lot of us have seen this in some older artwork. But there you go. We all know this one. Now, here's what's really cool. I'm going to show you original designs for all of the gags. I didn't even know these existed. The first thing we have is the original design for the whistle. We also have the 1 ton weight, the water glass, the water balloon. Never heard about this. This must have been really early stuff. Trapdoor, TNT, Storm Cloud, Small Magnet, the best gag in the whole game, Sandbag, Safe, The Rake, Quicksand, Question Mark, I don't know what this was for, Pixie Dust, Piano, Marbles, Lipstick, Hypno Goggles, I love this one, Fruit Pie Slice, Fruit Pie, this ugly foghorn, flower pot and flower, fire hose, which looks like a golden snake, feather, elephant trunk, which doesn't really look like an elephant trunk, looks more like elephant poo, and a pink cupcake, cream pie slice, cream pie, birthday cake. This is like the ugliest birthday cake ever. Bullhorn, I don't know what this was for. Bugle, bottle, it's not a seltzer bottle, it's just called bottle. Bike horn, big magnet, it's not blue. Baton, this one's really weird. I think maybe it was a magical act for tune-up, I'm not really sure. Banana, bamboo cane, awooga, anvil, $10, $5, and $1. I've never seen those old versions of gags before. I never knew there was a baton. I never knew there was a balloon, a water balloon. That's the weirdest thing to me. Maybe that didn't even, make it to the original game. I have no idea. Next thing we have are cog buildings. Now, I don't think these are assets that are used on streets. I think maybe these were just in like publicity photos, but check it out. This one is for Sellbots. Familiar design, but it just says sales. The next one is for Cashbot, it says money. And I don't have any Lawbots, but I did find the BossBot versions. This one looks really familiar, but it says Corp for some reason. Very strange. Maybe it's supposed to be like Corp bots or something, I have no idea. And then we have this. This is, I thought a cog building. It says Corp on it, so it's presumably BossBot, but the name of the file is Suit, which is what cogs used to be called. They used to be called suits, but it says Suit Landmark. Very, very strange. Next we have concept art. So just a disclaimer, some of this stuff is for sure concept art, and then some stuff I'm not certain about, so let me know if I get anything wrong. First thing we have is a sketch of the door hand that you see in Cellbot Silos. This is really cool because you see the direct influence that it had for the original designer. So here we have a sketch, and then we have the final design. Then we have the right hand, original sketch, and then this is cool. They have like 3 different versions. The first version, second version, and then I think this is the final version, but I mean, I can't remember. It's weird seeing it in higher quality. It kind of throws me off. Then we have the locked silo door hand, and then the final version that we see in the game. This one, I'm not sure where it's from. My first gut reaction was maybe it was Goofy's Gag Shop, but it's a sketch of an anvil. And then this is the final version that we see somewhere in the game. I think maybe this is what hangs at the tops of buildings on streets. I'm not sure. Now we're getting into high quality territory. So I believe this is a sketch, a not final version. This is obviously what we see in the background of Cellbot HQ. It looks really close to the final, but it has kind of weird coloring and texture to it. Makes me think that maybe this wasn't the final version. Then we have some more of that same style. It's really cool. I mean, these are really big images, so it's really cool to see up close. We see that all around Cellbot HQ, so that's very familiar. Now, these are not super big. I think some of us have seen some of these. I think this was a sketch for the Toon election when you were able to vote for the next species. What we're seeing here are the pig design, the original sketch for pig design, and then down here, this is the chicken design, which unfortunately never came into fruition. This is the sketch for the merry-go-round that you see in Toon parties. And then this image, I feel like I've seen somewhere before, but I don't think it's in the game. This is obviously a sketch for bigwigs, but I don't know. I mean, it looks less like a sketch and more like a final version, but I have no idea where this is in the game. So if you guys know, let me know. Now this is really cool. This is what looks to be one of the original sketches for the redesign of Toontown Central. So Toontown Central used to just be a circle with a gazebo in the middle and a small little pond with no fishing at all. This is a little bit more than a sketch of the redesign, and it looks really on point. However, there's a few differences here. If you look down below, first of all, we don't see any entrances to any streets. I'm not sure what this little dot down here is supposed to be, but over here is pretty interesting. This looks like almost a balcony, but I'm not sure what it would be. This is obviously where Goofy's Gag Shop is. We know that the trolley is down here. It almost looks like they wrote something down here. If you look really close at the bottom of this picture, it looks like maybe they were drawing or writing something and then they covered over it. The other thing you can notice is that there's no gazebo. It's just a hill, and maybe that's intentional. I have no idea. Maybe the gazebo was a last minute idea. And it looks like there's a bridge. However, the more that I look at it, it kind of looks like it's just a tree in the middle of this playground. The other thing is that the pond is obviously here. This is correct on the left side, but over here on the right side, the pond is not nearly that big in the game, and obviously there's no docks. Fishing was added later in the game. We know Toon HQ is over here on the left, Town Hall in the middle, and the library on the right side. What's interesting is that we have a bit of a garden area over here. There are some hedges in the game over here, but this almost looks like a garden entrance to either side over here. And then the biggest difference in this whole entire design is that up here in the top right, there is the Toon School up here. However, this whole section says school playground, so it kind of seems like it's insinuating that there was going to be a jungle gym or a play area that you could play around in. All we know for sure is that there is a fountain here with a sculpture of several of our Disney friends. That's not here. I don't know what happened here. Maybe they just didn't have the time to do something bigger. But anyway, I thought that was really interesting. I've never seen any original sketch of the rebrand for Toontown Central. Excuse me, not the rebrand, the redesign for Toontown Central. This is really awesome, and this is a really big file too. And that's all I have for that. I do have a section which I think might be concept art, but it also might have been original versions in the game. Over here we have the old laugh meter. So I think I've seen an old laugh meter in some promotional material. First thing we have are the toon eyes, and then the next thing we have is a bunny head. Very, very similar to what we have, but it's not what we have in the game. Cat head, dog, horse, kind of looks like a dog almost, mouse head, and then we have the frowny face, which I think you can see the X's there. And then we have the best one, which is the duck. And you actually can turn on the toothless grin right here, and then you can see the original laugh meter here. That's what it looks like. Pretty close to the final version, but I just thought I'd show it off. It's different than what we have in the game. All right, now we're moving over to a section called details. These are images that really just stuck out to me because we've probably seen them in the game, but we've never seen them like this before. The first thing we have is a familiar looking trading card from the membership program. You would get trading cards in the mail, and one of them would probably be a cog card. This one is a backstabber. It's one of my favorite cards actually, and actually this was the only high quality card image I could find in the phase files. It's really awesome. It's nice to have a really high quality version. You've probably seen it before, but I just want to show it off. The other thing we have is a barn. Now, this is a really big image, and I think maybe we've seen it in Goofy Speedway. I'm not 100% certain. Let me know where you guys have seen this, but this is really high quality. It's clearly a little bit compressed from the original artist rendition, but you can see where some of the early sketching is on these silos here, and even on the barn you can see the original sketching before they started adding color. Now we have this guy. This guy is a menace to us all. He's in the jungle game on the trolley, and usually when you see him, he's pretty small. He's probably about that big, but there's a lot of detail that you don't see. The first time I saw this image, I didn't even know what it was from because it was such high quality, and then I remembered. So this is fun. This is the highest quality I can find for female eyes. Not too much going on here, but it is fun to see what the blink looks like. Next thing we have are the big lips. These are the smooch. This is the smooch we send when we use the lipstick gag for tune-up. There we go. I don't know whose lips these are, but we are grateful for their lips, and we're grateful for the tune-up. Some of you guys have probably seen this before, but this is just the highest quality version of this texture that you see on the VP, I believe. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure this is the suit that the VP wears. And then we have the CEO. This is a little bit smaller, but it's still pretty high resolution. And then we have the best one, which is the CFO. He has the best suit in the whole entire game. It's pretty rad to see. There's a lot of cool shading on this one. And then this is one of the biggest images. We've seen the Cognation boxes in the Cashbot HQ, but this is one of the biggest textures I found, and it's cool to see how much detail went into it. I love this image. I remember the first time I went to a cog building, I noticed these guys on the side mindlessly plugging away at work, and then this very sad image in the bottom right corner of a fatigued worker. That's how I feel right now because I've been up so late looking through textures. But this guy, it makes me wonder, are they cogs or are they humans? And are cogs using humans to do their work for them? We have an easel. I think this is in the Create a Tune section of the game. Hello, how you doing? Are you mad because I'm still up? This is Holly. She's the greatest dog in the whole wide world. Here's the final version I think we have in the game. You can see it's different than the ones we saw earlier, but these are basically just the same images, but I think it's the final one. But I think it's the final version. There's a lot of detail that you just don't see in the game at all because it's downscaled. This is one of my favorites actually. So we all know this guy, we've seen him before, but usually he's a lot smaller, probably about that big. It's one of the fishing trophies, obviously. Now here's what's really funny to me is that I never realized until I saw this asset today that this right here is a dog carrying a fish that he caught. When I saw this image, because it was so small on my sticker book, I thought that the Toon's head was the fish's fin, and I thought that this hand over here was also the fish's fin, and then I never noticed this hand over here. However, the funny thing is, I always thought this was the fish's legs standing this way. I know it's probably silly looking at it now and thinking that, but you have to keep in mind the resolution that we have on Toontown is way lower, and it's about that big. So I always thought this was a fish standing on top of a trophy in kind of a weird position. This one's awesome. This is obviously over by the school in Toontown Central. This is the fountain we see, and Goofy's big butt right there. This is really cool to see. Not much going on here, but it's just cool to see the higher quality texture. This is the Donald Duck statue that we can have in our garden, the mini fountain, and then obviously the Mickey gardening one. Then we have this one. I think this is what we see on maybe Punchline Place, maybe Loopy Lane. I think this is a statue that we see in the middle of the street, kind of in a roundabout area. And then this one's awesome. I never knew that he was holding a banana. I always thought maybe it was a boomerang or something. And then something I thought I should point out is this is absolutely Bullseye from Toy Story. I don't know who they think they're fooling. That is 100% Bullseye. There's apparently a crossover of Toontown and Pixar, so there you go. It's been confirmed. This looks like the model we see of the head in the Cellbot Factory section when you go under the tunnel. The face looks very similar. However, I know that's not used for it because there's not sheet metal and bolts all over it. So I don't know what this is for. If you guys can let me know, I'd really appreciate it. This is a really big image as well. It's really cool to see though. And then this one I believe is for the CJ scale. This one is the CJ side, obviously. And then this is the Toon side with Flippy's face. Then we have a lizard, which I believe is in a fish bowl that you can have in your Toon estate. Usually it's about this big. It's pretty small, but like look how much detail was put into this lizard that you don't even see. The moon, we all know this guy. He's from Donald's Dreamland, and I think maybe even in your Toon estate when there's fireworks. There's a few versions of this. They're all lower quality, but there is one other version. I don't know why I didn't save it. It's an earlier version of this, but it looks really close to what this is. It's just slightly different. I think maybe this is in Daisy Gardens or maybe a trolley game. We probably see it in the game and it's probably like about that big, but again, so much detail you just don't see in the lower resolution version. This is a pansy. I believe it's for your garden at your estate. Nothing surprising here, just nice to see the higher quality. And then can you guess what this is? Is this someone's beautiful locks, or is it a terrible jellyfish? Yes, it's a jellyfish. There are actually two other textures that go with this, but it's slightly transparent, and it's really awful. Poolside head. So I think this is for a window display for your Toon estate. This one's one of my favorites because you can see the original sketch work here, and then the added color and the shading and stuff. There's a lot of detail, and you probably see it about maybe that big in the game. And I think this is the background that goes with that statue. I think these are the doors to the entrance to the VP lobby. Nothing too amazing here. It's just nicer to see a higher resolution. Let me know if I'm wrong though. I think it's for the VP lobby. We all know this sign. It's our favorite sign. This is what sparked so much speculation. We've seen this sign before. It's just nice to see a high quality version. You know, usually they're pretty tiny and they're much lower resolution. I didn't even know what they said the first time I saw them. And then I don't know what this is for, but it's either the burr or it's for Christmas. I believe these are trees you see in a window display for your estate, but I'm not certain. And then Goofy Stadium. I believe this is what we see in the background in Goofy Speedway. There's a lot of detail with the brickwork and the road and the flags and everything. And then a sewing machine. I think maybe this is for the Created Toon as well. There's another variation of it, which is one of my favorites. There's a lot of detail here, a lot of detail. You can see the time that was spent like drawing the threading over here and some of the shading, and there's a lot of work and a lot of love that went into this. And then this one's cool. This is a high quality version of the tree. I think we see maybe in Toontown Central. I can't remember, but lots of love went into this. You can see some of the coloring change as it goes higher. and even some of the line work on the trees. And then this is great. This is for the cowboy lamp. Look how much detail you just do not see when you have it in your estate. It's really small. The lampshade is humongous, and it's probably about that big, but you just don't see all the detail. And I love this one. This is one of the big ones too. I think this is what you see in some of the, I could be wrong, but I think you see it in some of the shops in streets, but I can't quite remember. But again, a lot of detail. You can see some of the imperfections here with some of the lighting and stuff, but I think it's cool because I think it gives it character. I also have this section, which are basically just high quality versions of the playground signs we all know. Nothing new to discover, just really cool seeing the highest version you can find. All right, so one of my favorite sections, these are some of the giant backgrounds that I found. First thing is just a bunch of buildings. I have no idea where these are located in the game, if they even exist at all. But again, so much detail, so much love went into creating this. And then another variation of the same thing. And then I believe this is at our Toon estate. Is that a cow or is that maybe a barrel? I'm not sure. But like, it's just so cool to see this one. This is something you see all the time, but it's nice to see it higher quality. I don't know what this is for. Let me know. Maybe it's for the jungle game. I have no idea. And then I think we're getting into the territory of some of the skies for the window displays. I could be wrong. Yeah, I think this is a window display background. I do not know what this is for. I think this might be where those ice trees were earlier. I think it might be a window display, but again, I can't remember. I think this is also a window display. It's interesting though, you can see, you just don't see this in the game. You can see the actual like lens glare that's happening down here. And then this one's cool. I think, I feel like this has to be either Donald's dock or it has to be a window display. I have no idea what this is for. It looks like there's a Hollywood premiere of a show. I don't know what this is too. Let me know if you know. This one's high quality too. I believe this is the background for the aquarium in the pets shop. And another sky display, I have no idea. It says poolside sky. And then just a bunch of trees that you see in the game all collected together. I think maybe that's Daisy Gardens, I'm not certain. I have no idea what this is for. Is this maybe Bosspot HQ? I don't even know where I've seen this. It almost looks like it's a real photo that they compressed and stretched out quite a bit. And then I don't know what this is for. Maybe it's for some marketing materials or something. And then I think that's one of the cowboy displays. It might be a painting, but I can't remember. And then this is one of the best images I found actually. Can any of you guys guess what it is? It's the shadow for your toon. Wow. All right, now we're into now we're into one of my favorite sections. These are things that I'm not sure what they're for or where they're from, or if they're even in the game, or if they got canceled or whatever it may be. So this is the first thing. It says Moneybags coin backside, and then you have Moneybags coin front. I have no idea what this is for. Maybe it was for a trading card. Next thing we have, it says Tunella Royale, and it says, the name of the file says cigar, but I can't think of anything that has a cigar in the game. This one's weird. This one says Gag Pie, and all I can guess is maybe this was an early version of a cream pie. It looks like it was an original photo of a real cream pie that they then compressed really small. Okay, this is also something I'm confused about. It looks like this is for the Toontanic up here on the top right. And then down here, I can't make out what it is. It looks like it's one of those shavers you get at a barbershop. Over here, it's a horn of some sort. And then down here, It looks like a school bell or something else. I have no idea what this is. If you guys know what this is, please let me know. I have no clue. This is weird. Saturn. There are a few different textures for this that are just flat textures, but this is the only really interesting one. I think this is just concept art, but I don't know what it was used for. Okay, this one says security hat badge. No clue what this is supposed to mean. It just says SG on it. This one says sign Cellbot head HQ. And then this one says site plan and color. I have no idea what this is for. And then this one's weird. This one is a glowing skull you can only see if you have a black background. What is this for? Does anyone have any idea? And then this one's great. This one's a giant Neptune statue. He's wearing swim trunks. It looks like he either has a skateboard or a surfboard or something, a Triton, and then he has a watch for some reason. I can only think maybe this is in the diving game. I can't think of anything else it would be for. Yeah, he has a skateboard. All right. This one's really cool too. So this is a bunch of stuff that you can read. So the first thing I found is this random image that just says corporate water supply. Any ideas what that's for? No clue. And then this one is the pink slip, and this is one of the highest qualities I can find. It says fired, notice of termination. In an effort to downsize our payroll department, we are downsizing your paycheck to 0, effective immediately. With love, your former boss. Wow. And then this one is, you can't like read any of this, but this is a back of a newspaper, and then here's the front. It says market crashes, and then up here in the very, very top it says Greed Street Journal. And then this is just more marketing material that this is marketing material that just showcased the original CD-ROM version of Toontown that you would also have to use alongside logging in with the game. It says free trading cards that you get with it. It says while supplies last. Ain't that the truth? But this is just a really cool a cool thing to see. This is what, for those of you that never had a Toontown membership, with the membership mailer, we would get these cards. I think you got maybe 3 every month. Along with the newsletter. It was so cool, and I have like a gazillion of them I gotta bring out sometime. And then right here we have I think this is more marketing material that just showcases what you can get. Some of these newsletters with updates, and then it shows some of the concept art in the background. And then I think this is just like an informational piece of paper you'd get in your membership mailer. So, okay, this is something I think about quite a bit. Every time I start a new tune, when Tutorial Tom is teaching me about everything, he says to go into one of these street tunnels. Well, this is obviously for Punchline Place because it leads to Donald's Dock, but I've always tried to make out what this says up here. And so I just thought I'd double check to see if it's even English at all. But I've always wanted to see the higher quality version to see if it actually says anything, but I can't make it out. What we have here is the top texture for a stack of papers. It actually says something though, and I'm reading this for the first time, so I have no idea what it's gonna say. I'm gonna try to make it out as best I can. It says, the testimony of the cog in question is as follows. I really hope no one can actually read this because I am simply typing to fill up space and to trick the eye into thinking this looks like an official document of some kind. Hopefully it will work. I would write something that sounded like legal jargon. However, I could not think of anything great off the top of my head. So I just started writing, and we will see what comes out. Furthermore, it's always good to start paragraphs with words like furthermore. It makes it sound more official. Think I'm running out of things to say, so maybe I should think about a little cut and pass action, a little out and pause action. I don't know what it says. Think I'm running out of things to say, so maybe I should think about a little cut and paste action. And then it's just copy and paste the whole time. Wow. I can't believe I was able to read that. That was really, really tough. Now, this is just a really small section. This is for Toontown Central. What you're looking at here is the original version of Toontown Central. This was just a giant circle with a bunch of buildings all around it. You can see the original pathways to each different neighborhood. In the middle is a shadow, and that's where the gazebo was. And then you had this small little pond here with no fishing docks at all. I can't remember what some of the buildings are around here. You can probably find some photos online, but this is the original version, the probably alpha version. And then you have the updated version, not the redesign, the updated version. Wow, darker shadow around the pond. There's not too much of a difference here, but it stuck out to me that there was an updated version. I guess they wanted something more bright. And then I thought I'd throw back to that sketch that we found of Toontown Central. Sorry, this isn't to scale with the other one, but that was the redesign plan. And then this is what we have today. And now we have paintings. This is really cool. First, we're gonna start with doodles. This is what you see in the gag shop. I'll zoom in just so you can see a little bit more of the quality. All right, now we're going to probably one of the best sections. It's the portrait. This is the highest quality versions of paintings that you get to put in your estate. First one we've all seen it. It says landscape painting. You can zoom in quite a bit here. You can see what looks like a hollowed out mailbox here, along with more details. Next we have modernist Mickey, which actually looks really bad in high quality, but you can imagine how it looks in game, much smaller. There's it looks like they downgraded the texture quite a bit, but this was the highest quality I could find in the files. I don't know how to pronounce it. It says Cezanne or Kazane horse. I have no idea. I think it's a parody of an existing photo with a granny sitting here and a horse on top. I love seeing this. And then this one says Degas Horse Star. I love this one as well. What's funny about this image, and if this is based on a real image, I haven't seen it before, but it looks like there was a dancer behind here. If you look at this orange outline, it looks like they tried to paste over it and then put this tune here instead. I love this one. This one's one of the best. This one says Whistler Horse. We've all seen this. I don't know what this is from, but I think it's supposed to be a woman just lounging. And then this is the greatest painting that they have in the game. It's my favorite painting. It says Rembrandt Duck. We've all seen this duck. I love this painting. What's really interesting about seeing this one is you don't just get the high quality version. There's another version, the probably original version that they changed a bit. Here you go. This is the original version that they then used this over. You can see a couple small differences. Over here in the final version, there's no feather, when in the original, they had a feather up here. And then in the final version, his glove is just sitting there. But in the original version, he's holding a flower. So there you go. I thought that was pretty interesting. Now we're looking at paintings that I don't think you can have in the game. This might have been concept art, but it looks like it was for a painting. This one's called Hotel Room. It's a little smaller. And then this one says Painting Place. And you can see there's a painting of Minnie Mouse in the back. And then I've never seen this painting. This one just says Valentine's. I don't think you can get it in the game, but maybe I'm wrong. And then this is one of my favorite ones. This is a painting I've never seen in the game, and it's kind of lower quality. I think maybe it was just axed, but it's just called Portrait. And then the last one is called Bird Painting. I've never seen this photo in the game, but it's one of my favorites. I think it was probably scrapped because it's a chicken or a bird and not a duck. But it's a pretty great photo. I love this one. We've all seen this photo. This was kind of posted a long time ago. This was the original version of Toontown. You can see the original version of Toontown Central here as a circle instead of a Mickey shape. You can see Goofy Stadium, which was just a concept but was blurred out, and then they placed a cloud on it. And then Funny Farm, which was also a concept, they blurred out, put a cloud over top. And then Construction Zone, another concept, never came into fruition, was blurred out and placed a cloud on top. And then the original versions of the HQ. Cellbot HQ is up here where Lawbot should be. Cashbot is where Cellbot should be. And Lawbot is where Bossbot should be. And Bossbot is where Cashbot should be. These are the only thing that's similar is the general outline of this Bossbot building is pretty similar to the train version of the Cashbot version, except for in front you have trains. And then over here, this is very similar to the final design that's connected to Daisy Gardens. Otherwise, everything else is different. But this is the highest quality version we have of the original Toon map. Now I'll just change it so you can see how it evolved over the years to become the Toontown toward the very end of the game that we know and love. A lot of significant changes, but it's really, really cool to see the differences. So there you go. That's all I have. I'm done. There's no more. But if you want to dig further, you can. I'll go ahead and link to the GitHub file in the description. If you want to, you can look at my Photoshop file. I'll go ahead and include a link to that. And just so you know, you can even find like music and sound effects in the source file. There were like MIDI files for the music, and I opened it in GarageBand, and it had all the instrumentation categorized. So I could mute the percussion, or I could mute the flute or the piano. You can change and adjust the original soundtrack on your own. You can do your own remixes, whatever you want. There's so much stuff that has not even been touched yet. There's a ton of recordings of all the Disney characters talking about Toontown in like Japanese, and all we got in America were just, you know, sound effects of them saying haha. That's it. That's all we had. But there's like so much stuff in there. We haven't even touched the surface. So dig in. Tell me what you guys find. Tell me what you guys thought, if I got anything wrong, or if there was anything that you saw that was really awesome.